We liked that it was a small site. We liked that it was always going to be a small house. We liked that it was on a train line because that made us feel connected to the city. And so a lot of the things that people probably, might have hated about the house, we sort of loved. I've always loved terrace houses. I think they kind of represent a great model of living. They're relatively compact. But they also have a lot of issues. And I guess as an architect, we wanted to find something that was a little bit of a project. The rooms were sort of segregated, and they didn't kind of feel connected to each other. The main reworkings were to sort of kind of open it up and improve sightlines and visibility. We are in a terrace row and no one else had done a first floor addition. And that was something that I knew that council would sort of look at quite closely, but we also didn't want to kind of feel like we were upsetting neighbours or building a home larger than we needed to. So, kind of carefully planning the first floor to still be small and to read as a quite modest, quiet, humble addition was important for us. You can sleep and be comfortable and private away from the world, but you can also open the house, entirely up. I do feel that in Australia, the way that we build houses, they're really quite private and too private. And I think it's much more healthy to be able to open your life up to the kind of community and, the outdoors. Officially, when we bought the house, it was a no-bedroom house. There was a little ladder accessing the room up through here, and the roof folded down previously, so it was quite tight. It's quite nice to kind of hold on to the old bones and the old house. We were always challenging ourselves to remove as little as possible to kind of keep the house working. So there's very little demolition that occurred in the house. All of the existing brick walls have all this extra character. They're pretty roughly built, but we sort of like that and it suits the style of the house. So all of the structure is existing. We sort of just added onto it rather than sort of going through this process of kind of absolute removal and demolition. It's not until you really come out here, the site just keeps growing and growing and it starts to slowly become more and more spacious. Gardens are really cheap. Plants are relatively cheap. So, building a larger garden is an affordable way of, building a home. The site is 67 square metres and we almost have the same amount of footprint of outdoor space to built area. Keeping the footprint of the house small, the garden larger, you kind of get more bang for your buck. We try and advocate for architecture to be accessible to everyone. We don't hang up the phone if someone's got a small budget. We love working with small budgets because you can get some really interesting end results. I think the more open to kind of different opportunities that you can be, the better the result will be. And there will always be a market for buying well-designed, interesting, unique architectural homes.